we have another incredible cram-stamped, just condensed episode of the Men's Physique Show with all the shows that have gone on this past weekend. First of all, I've got my brothers straight from Australia, Melbourne. My boy, our boy, the Australian voice of Men's Physique, Avon, Phil Naselli. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
And my boy out of Thailand right now with the massages, the Muay Thai, the coconut drinks. You already know. Our boy McGravy, the culture himself, the heartbeat of Men's Physique, Art McGrav. Let's go.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
And it's your boy, Aleem Bolton, the Gaffer, straight out of Hotlanta, IBB Pro. And yo, man, what an incredible weekend. Where do you want to start, guys? Where do you want to start?
4 pro shows this weekend. We had one in Brazil. We had one in China. We had 2 in the USA. We had one in Puerto Rico, which I believe is in the USA territory, right, Aleem?
That is right. That is correct.
Okay. And then we had one in Salt Lake City, Utah. Phil, which one was your favorite?
Oh, man. I got to say, like, how do you pick? We had a guy in Brazil who took down 10th in the world. We had Dan Ibrahim show up. We had, who else did we have? Carlos Ocran.
Yeah.
Cementing his spot in the Olympia. Like, man, it's so hard to pick, but all I know is it was such an exciting weekend of bodybuilding, that's for sure.
Jinbo.
Jinbo, guys.
Forgot about that one too.
We're going to talk about all 4 pro shows in this episode, break down the top 3, and then any notable points that we want to talk about, we're going to bring up. But let's get this thing started. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get into this. We did not have boots on the ground this weekend, but we had some insane coverage. For example, Aleem hooked up with Amit Agre between pre-judging and finals. I think that's history. I don't think any news coverage has ever got an interview between pre-judging and finals. Aleem, how did you do that?
You know, it was crazy, man. We had talked about getting on after the show, like in between the show, just to get like his feel, where his head is at. It would just be something that was different and it was short. And, you know, the 3 of us have collectively been talking about what we want to be able to give our true subscribers, the horde. Like, what can we give you guys that's extra, since like we want you to get the first news about any and everything and additional video footage that we shoot. So I was like, hey, this would be a great idea. And bada boom, bada bing, reached out. He was like, let's do this. He was excited to do it. He loved the interview we did with him, and sends love to both of you boys, by the way. So yeah, it was dope. We'll send that out to our subscribers.
That was crazy when I saw that. What did you think of that, Phil, when you saw that? I was like, what is this? This is sick.
Obviously, with the time difference, obviously I was asleep when it all happened. I woke up and the first post that came up was Gaffer talking to Amit, and I'm like, hang on a second, this guy still has a massive pump in his shoulders and his traps, and I'm like, hang on a second, that's in between prejudging and finals. So that's such a cool thing for even Amit to do, because I know a lot of athletes at that point of the day, it's always like they're depleted, they're tired, they're probably fully focused on finals. But for Amit to go out of his way to jump on a quick call with Gaffer to kind of fill him in with some posing tweaks that he had with cuts. Guys, if you haven't checked it out, make sure to go on the Men's Physique Show official page and check out that little interview that Gaffer did. But obviously, first time Amit met up with Cuts, which would have been a really, really cool experience. Obviously, Cuts gave him some pointers about what he should tweak with his posing. And man, gotta say, that little tweak that he made such a difference. That front shot looked insane. It looks so good. I'm surprised he hasn't tried it in the past, but now that that's in, like, it's definitely got to stay.
Yeah, he looked good.
Now that we're on the subject, let's talk about it. Here are the boys backstage: Amit Agre, Carlos Ocran. We had the very exciting Miles Man in the mix. Let's talk about Amit, though. We're talking about Amit, second place again to Carlos Ocran. Avon, I'll throw it over to you first. Let's talk about Amit Agre. Here he is backstage with Cuts. This is posted 19 hours ago. Amit says, I'm grateful to learn from him. Tags his coach, Cuts, and truly start understanding my own potential. Right now, it's a simple trust the process, follow his plan, and make sure I deliver at the highest level at the end of prep. What'd you think of Amit placing second in Salt Lake City at the Wasatch Warrior?
Yeah, I think, going up against Carlos, it was going to be a tough ask. Carlos has all the parts. He's got the size. The back is absolutely insane. And what I've said this many times before, Amit was able to control what he needed to control. And that was the one change that he made was in regards to that front shot. And man, it made, like I just said, it made such a difference. Like it made the physique pop a lot more. It really showed the wide clavicles. It was able to really show the lats as well. The detail has been getting better and better and better every single week. Like just take a look at that front shot with that one hand on hip. It made his waist look even smaller. It just created it gave him such a different look. It gave him such a different silhouette. I personally love this look for Amit. Like I said earlier, I don't know why he hasn't experimented in the past, but sometimes all it takes is to stand in front of the guy that knows your physique better than anyone else, knows your strengths, knows your weaknesses, and for him to have cuts front and center, critiquing little things, making those slight little changes, it was the man that he needed in front of him on the day. And like I said, it made a world of difference. But Gaffer, you spoke to Amit right in between prejudging and finals. You saw this, as soon as it came out. What did you think about Amit?
Boys, when he when he reached out, he said, "Hey, you ready?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Did you see the changes in the posing?" And I had seen it in the comparisons because I came in when the comparisons were happening. And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Bro, it looks dope. Can you go to the comparisons again, Art? The three of them. I want to point something out here about the front shot and what really makes Amit stand out amongst everybody, even Carlos in this front pose. Of course, the back is phenomenal. I love that Amit. If you look at him from the Charlotte Pro and then you look at him now, how he's able to bring his lats out now is so much better, so improved. He can now actually get the lats out. Here in this front pose, this is a perfect pose. Just keep it right here for a second. If you look, Amit's chest is the most upright chest on the stage. It looks statuesque, to take a word out of Phil's book. Even Carlos has that density, of course, in his chest. He's got like a freakish look, that two hands on hips, angled like that, really gives him a wide shape and everything. But Amit with the hand on the hip makes him now look even wider, and he's now more comparable to Carlos than when he had both hands off of hip. That's number one. Number two, like he said, he's now able to control his waist more, his core more, with one hand on hip, because mind-muscle connection, you're touching in the area, you can also squeeze that area, and you have more of a feel that it's contracted. When you have your hands off of your waist, you have to have your chest up. A lot of guys don't realize that their abs are still there. They're still showing. So they crunch down purposely to try to accentuate the core, and they don't have to do that, right? Like you can look at even the other two next to him. These guys are kind of slunched over more, trying to really engage the core. Amit doesn't have to do that because now he's upright. He can control it. He feels it. And there's that connection. So kudos to him. I mean, it really makes you stand out when you're amongst other athletes on stage who are slunched over. You look to be more dominating and have more stage presence. Then when they turned around, because he was able to bring his lats out, his lats now his back was more comparable to Carlos than even last week or the week before. And that's with the final little tweaks that Cuts was able to do. Still being Amit, still having that flow, still owning the stage, but now his lats are even more out than what they were. And clearly he had the according to the judges, the second best physique, arguably, in my humble opinion, maybe the best flow in terms of what men's physique should look like on the stage. But and nothing taking away nothing from Carlos. I mean, Carlos looks crazy. I mean, he looks subhuman. Subgaudian with the look. But Amit did great. Kudos to him. Kudos to Cuts. Love what they did there, and I love the shorts. The manifest shorts, those are fire.
You took the words out of my mouth. Man, those shorts are fire. Like when we spoke to Amit, he did hint that he likes to pick his shorts based on the background of the show. Yeah. And man, he could not have gotten any closer. I don't know if he planned that with Alex and Dorian. I don't know if they've got like a Warrior Classic special, but man, that worked so well. Hart, what do you think about Amit?
I'm really happy for Amit. I mean, moving up each show, it seems like second place right behind Carlos Ocran. Man, even with Emmanuel in the show, like, would Amit still take second place if Emmanuel brought a previous package? Amit gets better every single week with his posing. It feels like with this peak between him and Cuts, I'm stoked. first of all, to launch the interview of Amit. Guys, we have talked to Amit. There's an interview coming. Wait till you see this. But man, I'm pumped, man. He's the best poser up there. He's the best poser up there by far. What I do want to talk about though is the first place guy, which is Carlos Ocran. And man, this guy's physique is just it's so dominating. It's such a dominating physique. Caleb Carlos, just a master at work. Let's see him out here posing. First place, qualified for the Mr. Olympia, works under Neil Yoda Hill, same coach as Brandon Hendrickson. This guy's, talk about better posing. Carlos Ocran, one of his Achilles heels was his posing. Now when you watch him, the posing is almost perfect. I mean, the footwork, the stage presence, the flow, how he's taking his time. He's starting to hit the stance better. Gaffa, what did you think of Carlos Ocran's first place finish again this weekend in Salt Lake City?
Well, he's a double champ now. I mean, he won back-to-back shows. He's gotten better than even last week. And he's tight. No wrinkles in the back. I mean, he just put it together, man. He held it all week. You know, what he and Neil Yoda really cooked up in just a few weeks with, you know, just really dialing in the physique to get the peak conditioning out of him. I'm telling you, boys, like, had he showed up like this at the Charlotte Cup Pro, he probably would have won that show. I mean, it was already splitting hairs. He's that good. And that's against Emax. So the back pose, incredible. I mean, again, now how he delivers the back pose, it's one of the most dominating. And that ghost pose that he does, that ghost back pose, that's so dope too. That's on his that's in his gym. He's got that etched into his gym wall. That ghost pose is so dope. But his front pose, he sticks everything. Like, he hits it, he sticks it, boom. Transition, slowly sticks it, boom. Transition right into the pose, sticks it, boom. Not a lot of moving around. He does a little wiggle. He does a little shimmy a little bit into his front pose and everything is pretty cool. It's not long enough where it looks like it's a problem. It looks perfect and timed enough like it's done on purpose. And it gets him into perfect position. It looks great. His shorts will pop in. And, you know, shout out to Chula, but wish they would manifest. But shout out to Chula. Carlos, great job, man. Love you, brother. Have him on soon. What'd you think, Hart? What'd you think of his look?
I thought he brought a brilliant look. Absolutely brilliant look. Phil, what was your favorite part about seeing Carlos this weekend at the Wasatch Warrior?
Well, it wasn't my favorite part, to be honest with you, because, I mean, like you said, Gaffer, he's gotten even better than where he was last week. I mean, last week he looked incredible. Last weekend, or the weekend that just passed, he surpassed that. He must have watched the Men's Physique show last week, because the shorts actually came up a little bit higher. I don't know if you noticed, but the waistband isn't halfway down his butt this week. But
that's right. That's right.
He looked incredible. One thing that I need to agree with is the fact that his posing got so much better. He doesn't look jittery. He looks confident in every single pose, every single transition. In the past, like you said, Hart, it was his Achilles heel. You could tell that he wasn't confident in the poses. You could tell he wasn't sticking them. You could tell he wasn't presenting and showcasing the physique as best as he could have, just because of that lack of confidence. But you can just tell his stage presence has gotten so much better. The way that he glides across the stage, the way that he moves his feet around when he's got to go from the front pose to the back pose, he's not shuffling. It's just like 2 steps and he's into the pose. 2 steps again and he's into the pose again. So I love the improvements that Carlos has made. There's a reason why he was, I think, 8th in the world at one point in his career. Could he do it again moving into 2026? He could. You know, we've seen him knock off some of the best athletes in the world. You know, he beat Ben Quill. No, sorry, he didn't beat Ben Quill. He beat E-Man a couple of weeks back. Can he do it again at the Olympia? Who knows? Time will tell. But one other thing that I love about this show is that bloody trophy. That Thor hammer is sick. And you know what? That's what I love about bodybuilding. Like, some of these promoters are really, really creative with their trophies. I mean, we've seen the Thor hammer. I know the Legion has the statue of Chiron. You get the swords every now and then. You get the axes now every now and then.
The Trident from Miami Pro.
The Trident for the Miami Pro. That's what I mean. Like, some of these trophies are really, 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 really cool. But my question is, I mean, how do these guys get these trophies to and from, like, the show to home? Like, surely you can't put a Trident in your check luggage. Like, I don't know. What are they doing over there in the States? Because you'll never see anything like this in Australia.
That's a great question. We got to ask Alex what he did to get his trident shipped.
Like, how do you rock up at the airport with a big samurai sword and say, "Yep, you're letting that on the plane"?
That's not happening, sir.
It's not happening.
To me, guys, I don't know how close the scoring cards were, but even with Amit Agre posing better than Carlos, I feel like, especially when you talked about Agafa, the raise of the chest and standing tall, that just looks so much better on these athletes. Carlos really isn't standing as tall as Amit, but Carlos's muscle development and muscle bellies and muscle maturity. I'm over here talking like this. It's still so superior.
Yeah.
The legs are superior compared to Amit Agre. Carlos is just on a completely different level. Even Andre Benson, who I've talked about many times in the past, this guy used to have and still has a pretty decent back. I think he could have came in a little bit better, but everyone's back. It's so clear when Carlos and Neil Yoda Hill nail the back post. It's so clear who has the most elite back on stage, and it's, to me, in my humble opinion, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close. This is so, and it almost helps that he's so dark, because in the way the light was hitting it, his waist almost disappears, and all you see is all this meat up here.
Mm-hmm.
He's dangerous, boys. I definitely see if him and Neil Yoda Hill keep this up, I mean, shut it down, I guess, and just make whatever improvements they need to make come the Mr. Olympia. Because you think about it, what does Carlos need to improve muscle-wise or the Mr. Olympia to get in the top 10? Or is it just posing? Is it just stage presence? What do you think, Gaffa?
I think it's just posing right now. I don't know if he can even add any additional muscle anywhere. He's probably at his cap. If not, I'd be surprised, because I mean, he's so dense everywhere, even in the legs. So I don't know. And everything flows really well. Conditioning. The only thing I can see is like conditioning, maybe a little bit more in the mid chest, but that could be a posing thing. That's it. I mean, I don't know any other thing that Carlos needs to work on at this point, unless he changed his kind of posing and did something to just accentuate more of something. I mean, he can get tighter maybe in the obliques. I know we know he's doing some vacuums and he's doing a few other things. So really bringing in that midsection. That's it. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Phil? Anything that you can think of that he can?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, posing is probably going to be the only thing that he can really fix or really tweak leading between now and the Olympia. I mean, in terms of the size, like, the guy's got the muscle, he's got the density. I mean, then you start asking the question: does he start to get too big for the division? And like you said, Gaffer, I think I'd be surprised if he's not close to that weight cap. But then when I look at the likes of when you look at like your Ryan Terrys and you look at Ali Bilal's and you look at your Brendan Hendrickson, they've got the conditioning over him. So if anything, maybe coming a little bit more tighter, a little bit more conditioned. That's probably the only other thing that I could really comment on. I mean, in terms of the back, like, the back's damn near special. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so
it's dominant in the back. Like, even when he hits that kind of like that cable row sort of transition, you can see every little feather in that lower back.
It's all lean. You notice how he doesn't make his body look small and lean?
He's up tall.
He goes into it. He stays wide the entire time. It's just
exactly right. Whereas you get a lot of the other guys,
transition. Yeah,
exactly. As opposed to like when you get a lot of the other guys now doing this Henny squeeze where they're kind of hunched over to really accentuate that lower back and the feathers in that Christmas tree. The guy's able to stand up tall and still get that same sort of effect. So from the back, like, he's paper thin in that lower back, especially. I think maybe from the front, it could tighten up a little bit to compare against your likes of, Brandon and Ryan and Ali. But, there's still how many months between now and the Olympia. So that's definitely something that could be tweaked on for sure. This guy, though, impressed me.
Moving into third place,
Yeah.
we have Felipe, and this is a guy that we almost forgot about. I told you guys he's dangerous. There's obviously, looking at him from a 360 angle, if you know men's physique, you're going to be able to point out exactly what he needs to work on. But this is his first show back. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while since he's competed. First show back of this season, and gets a top 3 finish. So this is the last guy we're going to talk about on this stage. Avon, I'll throw it over to you this time. What'd you think of Felipe's showing? This is probably the best video footage that we got of Felipe, far right in the white shorts. And didn't you tell us last or a few days ago that he was coached kind of under the Neil Yoda Hill triad
So
with Zach.
yeah, so I'll clarify that one. So so Zach and Yoda have a coaching team together, but this guy works purely with Zach. I think maybe Zach might teach. Yoda might have taught Zach some things, but this guy's purely under Zach, and Zach has done incredibly well with Felipe, and what he was able to do. Like, this guy looked insane. Like, you can see the sharpness through the midsection. I think the posing, maybe his arms, he has them. Oh, well, he transitioned him over now, but I think he might have that arm a little bit too wide where he kind of loses the lat a little bit from that front shot. But he brought a damn near impressive physique. I mean, it was going to be very hard to go up against Anik and Carlos, but for you to stand toe to toe with those two guys and be in the mix just goes to show how dominant this guy is. And, bit more time. I'm sure he's going to do a couple more shows throughout the 2026 season, maybe even in the near future. But this guy has an impressive physique. He looked really, really good. We didn't almost forget about him because Hart, you had him on the radar, but I know a lot of people weren't talking about this guy leading into this show, but now I'm sure not a lot of people are going to be forgetting about his name moving forward. A lot of people are going to keep him on the radar for shows to come. But Gaffer, what do you think about Felipe?
Yeah, I like him. I like the muscle bellies, man. He's got really, really nice bubbly muscle bellies. He's got a nice narrow waist when he turns to the side correctly. I think that the one hand on hip looks better for him in terms of giving him a broader look. Especially his waist is not the smallest waist compared to a lot of other guys in the league, even though when he angles it right, it definitely looks very, very small. Edvan Palmeira is another great example of that, where he angles it so much, it almost looks like it disappears. So, I think that that's the look. But, and I would just say, he needs to bring out the lats a little bit more and get a little bit more width in the back to be, and the conditioning a little bit tighter, even though he looks great. I mean, he's definitely well conditioned, but to be in that next level, top 2, top 3 tiers, you got to come in just a little bit crispier and a little bit wider for a physique like this. The expectations are, if your muscle bellies look like that, then you should, be wide and be dense and have that total complete look. And, he'll get there. He's on his journey. So, love the cap shoulders. I mean, the guy's on point. So, hey, Felipe, we're looking at you. You're on the radar for sure. Heart's called you out. You're on A-Bombs and my radar. Just keep bringing it, brother. Let's see what you got.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful recap of the 2026 Wasatch Warrior, brought to you by the Men's Physique Show. Avomp, the Gaffer, did a beautiful job. Let's throw it over to China. And did we not call this? If you're tuned into the Men's Physique Show, if you're a Horde member, you probably already know what went down in China. I'll zoom in this photo, and there's our guy. Gaffa, I'm going to throw it over to you first. Jinbo hasn't even posted anything yet. He's probably still, I don't know what this guy's doing
Cloud
right now.
nine right now.
Cloud 9 right now. This is
Olympia. He's collaborating in the Men's Physique Show post. That's what he's doing.
That's what
he knows.
We're
watching
figure it out.
He's actually collabed a few of them with us. I'm going through his post. I'm like, oh, there's Phil. There's another one from us. Yeah. Jinbo, man. I mean, wow. The guy does the Superman pose so beautifully. I was hesitant when I first saw him pose like this, like I want to say a year or two ago. And I was hesitant because I was like, man, he's really slouching down. He's really bending that knee a lot. But he just pulls it off. He's so crispy. His conditioning is next level. It's inside out. I mean, you see vascularity all over the place. It looks like you're literally in the middle of a storm with all electrical lightning going all over the place with the vascularity in his front and his back. Great shoulders. I mean, these pictures don't even do it justice when you see this guy up close and personal. On a 4K level, you can't even believe what you're looking at because you see all the fibers in his muscle tissue, which is incredible, coming through the skin. So his conditioning already puts him in a very elite class on that level. He's able to like really pull out those lats right there. That's the Achilles heel for so many guys, is that they can't make their shoulders pop in the front for that Superman pose. They have too much of a gap between their sides of their body, specifically the lats in their arms, because they just don't have enough lat to fill in that space. He does it beautifully. And you see it all the way down into forearms. Everything is vascular on this guy. You know, you could cut him anywhere, he bleed forever because it's just vascularity, veins and blood running through everywhere. So he looks great, looks amazing, great tan. I think the tan could have been slightly darker, but probably just right for those lights. I wasn't there in person. We weren't, so hard to tell, but would like to see him just slightly darker with the tan. But man, they did a phenomenal job on him. Kudos to him. Phil, what do you think?
And when I saw this, I thought, when I saw the first video that I think it was this one here, when I saw him walking out with the smoke, and you could just tell this guy was locked in. He knew what was on the line here, in front of the home crowd, on home soil, touching distance, striking distance from that Olympia qualification. He knew that he had to bring it, and damn, did he bring it. I said it in a recent reel that I feel like this guy, and I need to shout out his coach as well. I think his coach name is Wee Gan or Wee Jan.
He's no joke. That's a great coach, bro.
He is no joke. And the guy is young. I think he's no older than me. I think he's 32 or 33 years old. And the guy, mate, I think he's got like 20 pro cards or 20.
He's got like 25 Olympian guys or people who've been in the Olympia, and something like 26 or 27 pro cards. Like crazy numbers.
This guy's no joke. And you can see what he's capable of doing. Like, he's nailed Jinbo's peak twice this year. Like, this guy came in full. He was conditioned. He was tight. That midsection was on from the get-go. Like, the chest when he walked out was just full as a house. Like, this guy brought it. And there's no doubt in my mind that this guy deserved the win. Like, his posing is just so powerful. We were just talking about sticking poses. Every pose that this guy hits, it's all done intentionally. He sticks them every single time. Not only does he have a great physique, but he's a damn good poser as well, and well deserving of another Olympia qualification, man. Awesome stuff. And we're rooting for you. We're looking forward to seeing you at the 2026 Mr. O.
Yeah, those 2 wins solidified it for him, right? He's in.
My favorite part about Jinbo's posing routine, if I can get it front and center, trying to get his face here, is the confidence of his face. This little smile smirk that he does, it's like such a subtle little smile. I wish I could find a better shot of it, but he's just, you can kind of see it here. The stage presence, I feel like it's such a subtle thing, but it's such an important thing. And Jinbo pulls it off great. Let's talk about second place. This is huge.
Mm-hmm.
This is huge.
Yeah.
Felix gets second place, and
you called it.
Man, how do we did? Yeah, we all called it. I'm trying to figure out this guy's. Okay, thank gosh, someone has him tagged because it's different in his username. Goes by Felix. This guy gets second place in China. This is huge for Felix and his coach, who, by the way, was very kind to me the other day. Hit me up in the DMs. Felix gets second place. This is huge. This is the biggest placing of his career. Avomp, I'll throw it over to you first this time. What'd you think of Felix placing second in China? Wow.
I'm stoked for him. I mean, he competed. What was the last year that he competed at? Because I was trying to go back and think about.
It was that Japan one with Ben Quill and Jinbo.
It was Japan, and man, I think he came. Did he come third, or he was in the top 5 for that show?
Yeah, I think it was fourth. Yeah,
fourth. Yeah, and then for him to come back and I'm got to tell you, he did push Jinbo. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind when I first saw Jinbo. It's hands down, he's taken this one. But man, the improvements that Felix has made between that Japan Pro and this show is, man, out of this world. He's posing in his back shot a little bit too wide, but I feel like from that front shot, he did improve on his posing. His stage presence was a lot better. He did come in dialed. I think he may have spilled a little bit too, like, from the back, but from the front, like, look at that front shot. I think maybe that arm, that right arm's a little bit too wide. I think you bring that in a little bit just to kind of close that gap and minimize the gaps in that front shot. But man, this guy's got a great physique. A really, really good physique. He's definitely got a lot of potential. His trajectory is going to just get higher and higher and higher. He's got a high ceiling, if you ask me. But I really like the look of Felix. And like I said, I'm super stoked that he was able to leave China with that second place medal. Gaffer,
is he natural?
I don't know. We were talking about this last week.
Yeah, I think he's natural, right? From the Japan Pro when we were at that show, didn't he announce, or it was said that he was a natural athlete? I mean, he looks like, I mean, to be that size, I would think that he's on G, but he might not be. His back is not as dense for the front to look like what it looks like. The back doesn't give me the same pop that the front does. Definitely detail, definitely a lot of detail in the back for sure. And the guy looks incredible. But it's just that the front looks so much more dominating on him than the back does. Part of it is the posing, I think. His front shot could be better. If he posed like our buddy to the far right, that's Xiaolong, right?
Xialong.
Yeah, Xiaolong. If he posed more like him, I think that he'd have even better results in terms of the front pose. But very, very nice back for sure. Very strong back. Went up against one of the best. His conditioning was absolutely there. You don't see a lot of wrinkles in the lower portion of his back, which is great. I think they did a really good job with the glaze that they put on him, and the guy's got some insane amount of abs streaming down that front in that core. Again, the posing could be a little bit better in the front, just a little bit, but he's certainly come up from the Japan Pro. Last thing I just want to point out, notice how Jinbo is always throwing his hands around people around him. Like he's gonna knock someone else out besides Ben Quill at some point.
Can I say something?
His hands, bro.
Can I say something about that? So from what I saw, Jinbo, he wasn't doing it for his posing. Apparently, he was telling the guys to get in their boxes, and the judge actually thanked him for doing so. So
let's go.
I think what he's actually done is I think after the Ben Quill situation, he's actually stopped doing that when he's in the comparisons. He obviously did it when he did his routine, his solo routine. But when he's in the comparisons, he wasn't actually throwing his arms around. This was a situation where the judges wanted the guys to kind of move over a little bit. So what he did was he told the guys next to him, hey guys, move in your box. And then the judge turns around and, there you go, says it right there. Jinbo asked everyone to stand in their box and the judges thanked him. So that's the reason why his arms were out to the side.
There's a back pose that they do when they turn around in comparisons, and he does it then and bumps into Felix, excuse me. So he like bumps him because he's like, wow, and like hits his arm and stuff like that. But hey, kudos to him, man. Thanks. He's such a classy athlete. And carries himself that way on stage. Even with the incident with Ben Quill, he's very apologetic and just honorable in that moment. So, kudos to Lee Jin. Great job, man. Punched your ticket, baby.
Yes, and congratulations to Felix as well. Let's talk about third place. The last guy we're going to talk about on the China Pro, Xialong. One of the best posers out there. Pretty complete physique from head to toe. He looks great when he was doing classic physique. This guy knows how to pose, has great stage presence. Gaffa, I'll throw it over to you first. What'd you think of Xialong at the China Pro? Top 3 finish here.
He did great, man. He looked incredible. I mean, I think it was just a matter of like his posing was there. He was well conditioned for sure. He wasn't on Lee Jinbo's level, but he was certainly up there. He's just smaller. He's just the smallest out of the 3 guys up there, and it's who shows up. And the guys who showed up were a little bit bigger than him, and just a little bit more conditioned, slightly more conditioned, and that's just was the difference maker right there. But he
who's
looks
back,
incredible.
Gaffa? Who's back? If you had to take it back, and I'm gonna tell you mine first. Yeah. If you had to take it back between Xialong and Lee Jinbo, who's back do you like? I like Xiaolong's back. I see more detail. I see more muscle separation. With Lee Jinbo, I'm honestly, it feels like it got a little foggy, got a little watery, and I didn't see as much detail. So from the back, I like Xialong. Who do you like in this back pose here?
I mean, I agree with you. Looking at this picture, you would say that, but up close, it could be a conditioning thing because Lee Jinbo is peeled inside out. You can see certain parts where the lights hit the muscle fibers, and you go, damn, that's as conditioned as you can possibly be as a human being. It's like damn near right at the breaking point. I don't know if the same level of tightness with the muscle pressed up against the skin is necessary. Although you see the detail, I don't know if that's what you get with Long on the right hand side. So again, the judges were there; they saw it crystal clear. Better than we do. But I agree with you. I think that the back in Long definitely has more detail, more pop in terms of that Ninja Turtle shell back. He's got more of that going on. But Lee Jin, I mean, you could see the muscle fibers in his traps going all the way down like lightning. I mean, just etched. I mean, that's why I think he gets it, and he's a bigger guy, especially in the front. So,
Phil, how about you?
I don't know if the tan is. I mean, I know Gaffy said the tan could be a little bit dark, but I don't know if the tan did Lee Jinbo a bit of a disservice in this back shot, because you're spot on. Like when you look at Long on the right, like you do see a lot more cuts. You see, especially in that lat area, like when he hits it and he sticks it. Like take a look at that left lat, like the cut that goes through there. You see a little bit more separation in the rear delt. Obviously, when you were talking about muscle pressing against the skin, I agree. Like Lee Jinbo down the middle of that back, like you can just see that muscle pop. But in terms of, I mean, looking at these two, I think I'm with you, Harmy. I think I like the detail and the definition and just the sharpness of Long's back in comparison to Lee Jinbo. But that's the thing, Lee Jinbo has such a dominant front shot. Like there's no doubt about it. And taking nothing away from Lee Jinbo and his back, like well deserving of the win, but when we're comparing those two backs, I think Long may have won that one.
Interesting. I would have loved to be there in China watching this show. Xiaolong Long, third place finish. Second place was Felix. First place was Lee Jinbo. Qualifies for the Mr. Olympia. So curious to see what his plans are. If he speaks English, we'd love to have him on the show. We got 2 more shows to cover. Let's go back to America at the Puerto Rico Pro. Avomp, I will throw it over to you first. This is a guy that we all had taken the show if he made the needed improvements with his posing and came in a little bit tighter. First of all, I want to shout out his coach, produced by Prob, known Prob for a long time. This guy, don't even follow me, follow you back, brother. Coaches Dan, gets his guy 1 win. He needs 1 more for the Olympia. What'd you think, Avomp, of Dan at the Puerto Rico Pro? Did you see any differences, any changes, any improvements?
I think the biggest change that we saw was in regards to that back shot. We said it last week. I feel like if he did fix up his posing, it would make the difference. And he did just that. I know he linked up with Josh Team Manifest athlete over there to help fix it up. And he definitely did that. The first thing I want to say, actually, before I get into this, is the lighting at this show was terrible. Yeah. It was terrible.
It's bad, bro.
It did, like, you can see how dark, like, Dan looks under these lightings. Like, you can't see, especially like when you're in the middle, you could have seen, you saw everything. You saw the detail, you saw the separation, you saw everything. The minute that these guys were pushed out to the side, you couldn't see them. It was just completely dark. It was just not good lighting. So don't take these photos as gospel. Like, obviously this is what we've got to kind of base this on, but I know these guys would have looked a lot sharper because they did look really washed out, a lot of these guys, because of the lighting. But with Dan, even though the lighting wasn't the best, he looked good. He made the improvements that needed to be made. He was able to show off the physique a lot better than what he was able to do last week. And don't get me wrong, he looked really, really good last week. Obviously, he was just beaten by a couple of better athletes. But on the day, he made the adjustments to the back. He was able to present the thickness and the density a lot better from the back, and then well deserving of the win as well. So I'm really, really happy for Dan. He's got one of those pro show wins, which was a little bit deceiving because when these guys got the cards, it showed that they were all qualified. They all had that Amit 1 sort of tag on it, showing that a lot of people would have thought that they would have qualified for the O, but he's got 1 pro show win. I know he's competing again this weekend. So fingers crossed he's able to, cement the win, secure that qualification, lock it down for the year, and then get ready for the O. Gaffer.
I'm glad you called that out.
You did an awesome reel on Dan. Let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, well, one thing I think is that those cards are deceptive because I called it out and said that he had punched his ticket and he didn't yet. So that's why he's still going for another show. I think he's got a show. Yeah, he's doing the LA show this weekend coming up. So excited to see that. But really, really happy for the win for him. The competition certainly was different than the past show, than the Tri-City. So, you didn't have the same level of talent that was in this show as in that one. I mean, you had arguably number 4 and number 8 in the world on that stage last week, along with Dan, and not to forget Amit Agre was also at the Tri-City, and he had punched his card to the Olympia twice, back-to-back years. So you're talking about some serious competition there as compared to the Puerto Rican Pro, but the Puerto Rican Pro was good. Dan looked good. He made the improvements for sure. I like his front pose when he goes from one hand on hip to both hands off. He looks that one hand, those both hands off, looks a lot better. But when he turns around from the transition from the back pose back to the front, he goes small again because he doesn't set it up with the one hand on hip like this. Like right now, he's wider, right? You gotta have his chest up a little bit more because it makes his chest look like it's caving in a little bit, especially that rear right side. But boom, nice. Yep. Turns around. Definitely am a fan of his back pose. Back pose is dope right here. Boom. Have that right arm like the hands are not at the right position. Once the right arm is a little lower than the left, but the back is so dominant you barely notice. Turns around. I would have liked to see him with lighter color shorts on, especially with that lighting, like red or something that pops. But okay. And right there, when he turned back to the front, you can see how he got small again. And that was his problem from the Tri-City, is just looking small in those front poses. So, in my humble opinion, I think he should stick with the one hand on hip like this. That's a nice pose for him. Keep improving that. Get your chest up a little bit more. Then bring your hands off, and that's the proper width. And then turn around to that back like you're doing right there, brother, and, do your thing. Even those arms out a little bit. So they sit on the same plane, the same line. Then when you turn around, go back into that one hand on hip and then take it off again if that's what you want to do. But that's a better look for him, in my humble opinion. And I think that it'll help a guy like Dan, who's in the past had trouble a little bit controlling the ab section when he's on stage, to keep that mind muscle connection and touch is similar to like Amit is doing right now. So that's my humble opinion. Okay.
Do you think Dan wanted to hit the one hand on hip? Because I want to question you guys, because obviously when we saw the photo that he uploaded last week in the gym, he had a really, really good pose when he did have that one hand on hip. Now, when he went to go hit the pose initially, it's almost like he forgot to put his hand on hip, because he went out with the double hand and then he corrected himself. Yeah. And the thing is, these corrections have only been made in the last couple of days. When you've been hitting that same pose for years, it's almost like muscle memory. You're going to instinctively always go into that. I almost feel like he was supposed to hit that one hand on hip, but he forgot to do it. And in the moment, I mean, there's so many things going through your mind. You got the lights, you got people in front of you. You're trying to remember everything. I might be completely wrong here. I hope I'm not, but I just feel like it was just a lap in concentration and he just forgot to do it.
Absolutely could have happened. And I could see it that way for sure. That's very plausible. Very plausible. But it looks good on him. I mean, we all agree, right?
100%.
The one hand on hip is a good look for him.
Like, look at this. Sorry, I thought you were going to... No, as you're talking, I just wanted to just look at how he corrects himself here. So he comes out and then bang. So it's almost like he forgot to do it. Yeah. And look how much width he has. Yeah, you're right. Look how much width he has when he does have that one hand on hip.
Yeah, with such broad shoulders, I'm just like, don't make yourself small, bro. Like, stay wide, stay tall. That's his look. He's got. I mean, the muscle's going to be there. It looks good. Looks great.
That's the only front pose I'd be hitting if I was Dan. I don't know why we're changing from two hand off, two hands, like all that stuff. This is his front pose. This is the widest. This is the best V taper that Dan displays from the front, and he has to stay wide. And I mean, if I'm Dan, I don't know who helped him pose over the weekend. Why are we hitting any other pose that makes you look narrow than your widest front pose? Because he doesn't have the smallest waist. So we can't afford to come back to doing a front pose where you look narrow. The hands almost just kind of look awkward when he just hangs them both down like that. It reminds me of Joshua Guidry, who has these giant arms and they kind of just hang down, and he doesn't look wide. So if I was Dan, I don't think we need to hit multiple front poses. To your point, Aleem, and to your point, Phil, when he turns around here, and again, I think he does need to balance out, because I was trying to look at this. I'm like, okay, I like the back pose. It looks better, but there's still something off. And I think it's just uneven with the arms and the hand, which throws off the back and the middle.
He's almost
And when he
pinching
comes
on the
back-
left side a little bit. You know,
a little bit. He's
Yeah.
he's almost there. There were improvements this week, but it's definitely not perfect. And then here, okay, that was all he did. I would hit the hand
Hand on hip.
on the waist again. That's the only pose that I would do if I was Dan. And to your guys' point, muscle memory, you scroll on his profile, I scrolled for days there and I found one where he's hitting a hand on the hip. That's his pose though. I think he should continue hitting that. Congratulations to Dan, obviously. Massive win. Super cool to see. So many people said he would never be a pro show winner in men's physique, and he proves them all wrong. Second place was Quincey, and this guy hasn't competed in a long time. Who'd I throw it over to last time?
First one over Gaffer.
yeah,
Gaffa.
me.
I-
Yeah, throw it to Phil.
This one's all Phil.
I'll take
He's
it.
throwing it over to you.
I'll take
He
it.
says, new damn account. Big one got disabled. Time to rebuild. He's in sales and construction. But let's talk about Quincey, who took second place, who also put up a wonderful photo of him and Dan on stage the other day
I like it.
on Instagram. What'd you think, Avomp, of Quincey placing second? No one had him in Physique League. Everyone was wrong this week, and that's why I love men's physique.
This was a lot of shock for a lot of people because, I mean, going into this show, no one really had him in the conversation. Like you said, Physique League, no one picked him in that top three. And, you know, it's good to see him back on stage. I think he's had a 3-year hiatus from the stage. But he bounced back like, you know, not many people are able to bounce back as well as he's done. I mean, to not be on the stage for 3 years and now take second place on his first pro show back is an incredible achievement. What I liked about Quincey is the fact that he's really streamlined his physique. He had very, very, very dominant arms. The last time he jumped on stage, they were really, really big. But you can see now the arms kind of flow a lot nicer into the shoulders, and they suit the physique a lot better. He looks a lot more men's physique now, which is great. I was questioning though one of the poses that he did, and it seemed like he was really favoring the Superman pose. Now I don't know if that's his shot. I personally like Quincey with the one hand on hip. He looks great in that, but I just feel like he seems a lot more dominant when he's got the one hand. Sorry, he's a lot more dominant when he's got one hand on hip as opposed to the Superman pose. I want your guys' opinion on this, because which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the Superman pose on him, or do you prefer the one hand on hip? Because it seems like he kind of loses his abs when he does the Superman pose.
Keep it right there, Hart. Yeah, Phil, you hit it right on, and I was saying the same thing about him. You know, that I think him contorting the waist and, you know, turning to a 45-degree angle does him justice. Why? Because I don't think his shoulders are capped enough for this pose. I don't think that his chest is pronounced enough. He's got shorter pecs than some guys like Ryan Terry and some other guys, where they have a little bit longer, a broader chest, where the Superman pose works for them. I think he's got great abs and he's got a good shoulder to waist ratio, but the lats don't pop enough in this picture and in this pose, with the shoulders, with the smaller pecs in terms of the length of the pectoral muscle. I just don't think that it's a good pose for him. I agree 100% with you. I was literally thinking in my head, like, he needs more of like an Ed Von Palmera pose with his physique, where the pecs aren't as long like Ed Von's, but really, really bubbly up top. Work on the shoulders a little bit more, hit those medial delts, and then, you know, have that 45-degree angled off kind of pose. I think would just do him justice. I agree. Hand on hip or both hands on hip, but just turn to that 45-degree angle, not straight on, in my humble opinion. What do you see, Hart?
Yeah, you know, I think hitting the Superman pose, he can get away with it a little bit at these smaller shows like the Puerto Rico Pro. But if he ever, you know, qualifies to the Mr. Olympia this year and he tries to do this on that stage, he's going to get exposed by guys who can actually hit that and pull it off, or get exposed by guys who are hitting one hand on the hip and turning the waist, and his waist is going to look massive. The things I do like about Quincey this weekend was, to Avomp's point, the downsize of the physique looks good. He does look more streamlined. He was looking almost as big as Kai Green back in the day, that when they were doing a bunch of content together, he was huge. Quincey was absolutely huge back in the day. But I'm really happy to see him a little bit more downsized, a little bit more of that men's physique look. Second place finish in Puerto Rico for Quincey is huge. I want to congratulate him. Continue fine-tuning the physique, brother. We look forward to seeing you more and more on the men's physique circuit in 2026. Very happy to see you back on stage, brother. Let's
Love the
talk
shorts,
about
by the way.
third place.
The shorts are popping.
Love the shorts. MP Show. You guys already know where to order those shorts. MP Show.
Let's
For the
go.
shorts.
Manifest.
Third place at the Puerto Rico Pro. Does anyone know top of their head? We have
George Brown.
George Brown.
W. Brown. Holy crap.
Garoche.
Veteran. Also won
King
the
Garoche.
Masters Pro. Gaffa, I'm gonna throw it over to you first.
Yeah, let me
Here
take
we
this.
are. Here's a dope little front shot. Let's talk about the top three. I'll let you have at it. What'd you think of George Brown, Masters Pro 2026 Puerto Rico Pro winner, third place in Open?
Garoche. All right. I mean,
Garoche.
if you haven't seen the reel where we misspelled his name and he cracked up on that and just went right with it and leaned in on it. So funny as hell the way he drops it. Anyway, King George, man, I got to tell you, coming in third, over 45. He won both Masters. He won 40 and over and 45 and over. Double the checks, double the bonuses from his sponsors. That was a good day for George. You know, winning both. That's a good payday for him for sure. And then he came in third and got a little check with this too. So great for George. I mean, again, a guy who's just a testament of when he decided to lock in, these are the results. Even over 45. You know, Masters is not about, oh, this guy is just old and, you know, give them some leeway. These guys nowadays in Masters are knocking out most of the guys who are in their 20s and 30s because they've had time to allow the muscle to mature, to get grainier, to get denser, to work on their flaws and their weaknesses. And they have a passion and hunger knowing that they only have a limited amount of time left in the game to invest in this. So they want their bodies to look as pristine and conditioned as possible. And many of these guys can afford to buy the right food, to put the time in, and they've already been disciplined over their life, you know, with work and whatnot, where they can do something repeatedly and then see the long-term gratification from it down the road. Whereas a lot of new guys are, oh, if I don't see results right away, you know, why would I want to continue? I'm going to drop out, this and a third. So there's a lot of, you know, back and forth in sometimes some younger guys' minds where you don't have that in some of the Masters guys because they're hell-bent, they're focused, they're ready to rock. George Brown is one of those guys. He started lifting heavy again. He started really going balls to the wall with the deadlift, with squats, with the heavy weights, and moving away from the machine so much. And it's paying off, man. I mean, he looks phenomenal. His posing is always that silky smooth, you know, kind of a blend of back in the day posing to more of a newer style. I think he looked, in my humble opinion, I think he looked better last week than he did this week from a conditioning perspective, but he still looked damn good from a conditioning perspective this week. And really, really crushed it, man. I love to see George doing his thing. And I hope that Andre and a lot of other guys who are in Masters follow suit and really bring it when they say they're going to bring it. What you got, Phil? What you think?
Man, George Brown, what a guy, man. What an athlete. I mean, this guy just shows up and, you know, like we've said time and time again, like to be rocking the bod and doing what he's doing at his age. And I mean, collecting checks. What's he got here? 3 checks here. What's he collected? $600, $1,000. Like he's had a good payday. And well deserving of it, man. Like this guy is just, is keeping the younger guys on their toes. Like he's showing up, he's knocking off some good athletes, you know, younger guys as well. Like to your point, Gaff, I do feel like he did come in a little bit sharper at the Tri-City, or no, it was a Charlotte Pro. But again, the lighting made everyone look so washed out.
Yeah.
I don't think George actually looked like this. I just feel like the lighting just didn't do him any justice. Because I saw photos of him leading up to the show. I saw photos of him backstage. He looked a lot sharper, but it was out of his control. At the end of the day, everyone was under the same lightings in front of the same judges, so we can't obviously blame the lighting. But George Brown, really, really happy for him. Obviously, he's qualified for the Masters Olympia now. Fingers crossed he qualifies for the Open Olympia as well. That's what we're looking to see. That's what we're hoping to see. And if we can see him on that stage in Vegas with some of the best in the world, that I'm excited for that. But I just want to touch on the lighting one more time because I just can't get this out of my head. Suss this photo out. So, like the guys in the middle got favored so much. Dan Ibrahim on the right, you could barely see anything. So guys, moving forward, promoters, anyone in charge of the lighting, let's give these guys, let's do these guys, give them the justice that they deserve. These guys work hard day in, day out for weeks and months on end to display the best physique, to put on a show. Let's look out for them.
Well said, brother. Well said.
Yeah, very, very well said. That was your 2026 recap of the Puerto Rico Pro. We got one more show to cover, and that was in Brazil. This one was extremely exciting. We were talking about beforehand, okay, Vitor Chaves is showing up, but there's a man named Vinicius Mateus Vera Lima who has a history and a record and a
really
resume.
Nice.
Hold up his tongue like that. It was so
not
smooth.
The first time he said that.
Coconut smooth water that he's drinking over there, bro.
Oh, if only you knew how bad I have to pee right now. This guy has a record of taking down the best in the world. He's done it multiple times. For example, back in the day, a couple years ago, he was famous for taking down Diogo Montenegro back when Diogo Montenegro was placing top 3 consistently at the Mr. Olympia, and Vinicius Mateus does it again. Gaffa, I'm going to throw it over to you first. What'd you think of Vini Mi Pro over in Brazil this weekend?
Bro, all I got to say is we kind of called it. I mean, his abs are bubbly. They have such a unique look to them, too, because they go kind of like on this angle. They're kind of on like this diagonal almost, the way his abs are shaped, where they don't come straight across. They kind of come down like a chevron. It's pretty dope to look at. He was peeled. The dude was super peeled. He looked incredible. His back goes sick. Like his back is like, what is it? Disney, I think, is coming out with a new movie screen called Something Action Movie Screen. He's got that. Whatever they're coming out with, he's already got that back, that movie screen for him. So I can't wait to get my popcorn and see this guy at I'm sure he's going to make it to the Olympia. So definitely at the Olympia or whatever show we wind up going to, that he's there. He looked phenomenal, dude. Like his posing looked like it improved for sure. His shoulder to waist ratio is crazy. His obliques look great. I mean, just really, really great physique, great look. And he took down Vitor and Kaique. Sorry, brain fart right here is late. Kaique. So he took him down, came in first. He looks amazing. Great back. Phil, what do you see?
I want to say it. I called this a couple of days ago. I knew that Vinicius was going to. Oh, I'm going to say I called it anyway. But I knew he was going to shake things up. We got to start calling this guy the Brazilian Dragon Slayer, because just like Hart said, obviously he's knocked out Vitor Chaves. He beat Diogo Montenegro a couple of years back. Like, this guy is someone that you need to be scared of, because if he shows up on the day and he shows up peeled, he shows up tight, he shows up conditioned, he shows up full, he can take down some of the best athletes in the world. And he did just that.
Talk about those striations.
Those striations in the chest. When he hit when he did his transitions, man, like, he's peeled. He was peeled to the bone. You got a photo of him. There you go. Look at that chest. Those striations in that chest are nuts. The abs, look how dulled those abs are. They are peeled, inside out peeled. Man, he looked, and he was big, man. He was full as anything. And, well deserving of the win on the day. I mean, we saw the back shot a couple of days ago in that gym with the lighting. Man, he brought a back to the stage, and, well deserving of the win. First pro show win for the season. Like you said, Gaffer, I can definitely see this guy back on the Olympia stage in 2026. Hart, you've been following Vinicius for a while. Give us your thoughts on Vinicius.
Don't mess with this guy. I don't care who you are. If you're the king of the Brazilians, you're the #1 Brazilian men's physique Olympian ranked in the world, watch out for Vinicius Mateus. The judges over there love him. Now, how does this guy get in the top 15 at the Mr. Olympia? I don't know, but I want to see it. I'm tired of seeing this guy take down the best in the world and then show up at the Mr. Olympia and struggle to get in the top 15. I want to see this from Vinicius. Yes, I'm very excited about this win, but guys, I've seen this happen over and over and over and over and over again. I want to see this fantastic 10 out of 10 physique get in that top 15 at the Mr. Olympia. So Vinicius and your coach, whatever you guys have to do to dial in a back like this on stage, that's exactly what I want to see. Congratulations to Vinicius Mateus. one of the best physiques in the game, not just best Brazilian, but one of the best physiques, period. To your point, Gaffa, such a unique midsection. To your point, Phil, absolutely insane striations, my lord. But let's talk about second place, and then we're going to talk about third place, which I'm really excited about. But let's talk about second place, Vitor Chaves. Now, if you go over to Vitor Chaves' profile, I noticed that he hasn't posted anything. And I probably wouldn't either if I'm the guy who's supposed to win this show and there's nothing of my physique. Obviously, he's back in the car with his family, right where he's supposed to be. Gaffa, what do you think of Vitor Chaves, second place at this show? Let's pull up some comparisons. Let's start with the back first. What'd you see here?
You know, Vitor, he's absolutely brought up the back, but in comparison to these two guys, I mean, you can see the difference. You can see the difference in the width. You can see the difference in the density. His detail is absolutely there, but I mean, they're just a little bit further in the journey than he is right now when it comes to the back. He has great lower lats. He's developed those something special. But you know, Vitor is complete in terms of his look. Why he came in second? I mean, he took the show kind of last minute, it seems like. You didn't see a lot of posts about him leading up to the show. Kind of knew he was going to do it a little while out. I mean, he was already kind of in shape from the Arnold UK and the Arnold Ohio. But I mean, he's definitely going to the Olympia right now. He's got 32 points, taken 8 points from this. So I mean, he's good to go in terms of point standings. And at this point, I'm sure knowing Vitor, he's probably going to want to get the other win because he's the kind of guy who wants to go into the Olympia based off of 2 wins, not based off of points. That's just how he's built. Great chest, great flow. Abs don't look as crunch and don't look as crisp as they've looked before in the past. I'm not just saying that from the pictures, but I'm also saying it because when you watch him actually go through his routine and do the comparisons, you can see the breathing again in the stomach occasionally, like he was doing in the Ohio. So Vinicius, he held his abs tight. Kaique holds his abs really, really tight too, and always stays peeled. I mean, good Lord, the guy looks like a fish with the gills on the side in the serratus, but we'll get to him in a second. But geez, Vitor Chaves, I mean, legend for sure for Brazil. Throw it up. He is, I would say, probably the second best Brazilian out of, Edvan Palmeira, Vitor. It's 1A, 1B kind of thing right now. And then, you got everybody else coming up behind them. So he's a legend for sure. Phil, what do you think of Vitor and the dark sport shorts and the tan and everything? What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, Vitor, I'm not sure if I think you said that he may have entered this one last minute. I'm not too sure what the case was with that one. He might have, he might not have. But I mean, compared to the Vitors that we saw at the Arnold, Ohio, and at the UK, this wasn't the best version of Vitor. No doubt about it. I mean, like you said, Gaffer, in terms of his breathing, he wasn't able to hold that midsection. I mean, he was conditioned, but when you look at the other two guys, just look at this photo alone, like the front shots on these two guys are extremely dominant. Like the abs, the obliques, the serratus, the works. Like these guys were extremely dominant. And don't get me wrong, Vitor Chaves has one of the best physiques in the world. Just that V-taper alone, the way that he is able to stand up tall and he's posing, like the posing, the works. It just wasn't the best version of Vitor that we saw on the day. And in my eyes, was definitely beaten by a better athlete. That's there's no ifs or buts about it. Now, obviously with Vitor, he's collected the 32 points. Will he continue to do shows moving forward? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, we know for sure he's definitely going to qualify in points. I think we've said, based on our predictions, you probably need between 20 and 25 points to be safe. This year, this guy's got 30 odd points, so he's definitely safe. The question now is, what does him and Cuts do for the rest of the season? Is the goal to qualify with the 2 pro show wins? If so, when's he going to compete next? Is he going to compete in the next couple of weeks, or does he shut it down? In my eyes, in my opinion, I think it kind of makes sense to just shut it down and just focus on the Olympia. We know he's safe, and we know that he's one of the best physiques. He's one of the best athletes in the men's physique division. No doubt about that. So yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with Vitor.
But the question is this: if you win on points and you go in based off of points and not 2 wins, how does that look in terms of your momentum to the judges, to the fans, to your own confidence? What do you think about that?
I think I might have a different perspective compared to other people.
But what if you're Vitor? How does it look if you're Vitor and you qualify by points?
That's
It
what I'm
doesn't-
saying.
it does-
For a guy like Vitor,
Yeah.
not like, a guy who is just, a C tier or a B tier. Vitor's on that, A level, 3 tier, right? He's like right there in the mix with the top guys. I mean, clearly a top 10 athlete when he's on point and he's well conditioned. You think that, winning on points would satisfy his mentality, his mindset, his hunger, the judges, the fans for Vitor?
No, I agree. I think the quality of athlete that Vitor is, absolutely no doubt in my mind, he wants to win it by taking the 2 pro show wins. No, being one of the best athletes in the world, you've got to kind of stamp your authority and be like, okay, this is why I'm at the Olympia stage. This is why I'm one of the best athletes in the world, because I have what it takes to beat a lot of competitors that try to qualify for the O. So I absolutely agree with that 100%. But the question I ask is, how much longer can his body take it? No, he's been prepping for a long period of time. He's already done a handful of shows. He's traveled from Brazil to the UK to Ohio, back to Brazil. Now, I don't know how many more shows are in Brazil, but now he's going to have to fly to the US again. He's going to prep for longer. And now when you're going into the US, you're up against some of the best athletes in the world. For him, I mean, I'm sure some of the shows that he wants to kind of stamp his authority in are going to be the big shows. Things like the New York Pro, things like Pittsburgh. I can't see Vitor going to a smaller show in the US and winning his qualification that way. So now it's a question. Now, when you put all those variables into play, it's like, well, what's the best option for him right now?
You know what it is? You know what the best option for him really is? Gold's Classic. Right before the end of the year. Take some time off. Go into the Gold's Classic. Win the Gold's Classic. Get the Men's Physique show to commentate while you're on stage, and turn the F up. Turn the fuck up.
What do we do to get him there?
He needs to just reach out to Mike.
What do we do to get him at the Gold's Classic? What do we need to do?
We need to put Mike and Vitor in contact with one another and just make this happen, because that would be legendary. He comes in the last show of the year and wins that. I mean, you're going in on points anyway, so you might as well swing the bat. Why not?
The Gold Classic is what? How many weeks before the O? 3
Is it
weeks?
like 3 weeks?
Yeah. Could be an option. Ooh, but then again, hang on. Let me ask you boys a question. He goes into that show and you've got an Edvan Palmeira at that show. But Edvan's already qualified. You go into that show and you've got from a 9th place to a 1st place. You get a Jushen He at that show. He doesn't win that show. Jushen wins that show. Now he's still qualifying with points anyway. So it doesn't really make a difference.
Exactly. Yeah. Show up for the smoke. You might as well get in condition anyway. That way, you know where you stand going into the Olympia, and you have a great. He and Cuts have a great gauge.
What do you think you should do, Hart? Let me ask you. I'm gonna just over the shoulder handball it straight over to Hart.
I don't know. I hope him and his coach Cuts figure it out. I'm not too worried about them too. I think they're going to qualify. I want to move on to the last guy of the day, and I want you guys to think about something. Tell me who got 3rd place at the China Pro.
The one that just went
Xialong.
China Pro?
Xialong, right? Tell me who got 3rd place at Puerto Rico Pro.
George Brown.
George Brown.
Tell me who got 3rd place at the Wasatch Warrior.
What's his name? Zach's client. Zach's client. What's Zach? We just spoke about him. Ken.
Who got 3rd place? Kent.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Now tell me who got 3rd place at this Brazilian pro show,
Kaique.
Nordeste. If
Kaique.
I had to choose one of these physiques for having the highest trajectory, highest potential in men's physique, it'd be Kaique right here. This guy is the real deal, boys. Look at this dude. 3rd place. Look at the midsection.
Damn.
Look at the waist. Look at the width. The legs look good. I mean, I'm if he would have beat Vinicius Mateus, and I'm watching these videos on Instagram a day later, I would say, yeah, that makes sense. None of us would be arguing about it.
Not at all.
This guy looks crazy, boys. And wait till he turns to the back.
I actually
this
had him
reminds-
second over Vitor,
Yeah?
personally speaking. Yeah.
I don't blame you. This guy came in dialed. It has a nice, wide, thick back as well. Absolutely crazy. He's on no one's radar. No one talks about him in the States. This guy is serious. What do you guys think of Kaique?
Honestly, I'm with you, Gaffer. I honestly thought this guy could have pipped Vitor Chaves and taken that 2nd place. Like, the last time this guy was on the Olympia stage was in 2024. He came in at 10th. And the physique that he presented, like, he's nowhere near as sharp as what he was on the weekend. He was inside out peeled. His abs looked a lot better. The midsection was a lot better. The obliques were a lot better. Everything was a lot better. So if he was able to come in at 10th position with that physique only 2 years ago, what happens in 2026 with this new improved physique? Like this is enough to shake up a lot of the guys in the top 10, if you ask me. I mean, just the fullness, the density, the width, the delts, the arms, the back, the core, like the legs, like where's this guy's...
It's
like,
two things. You know what the two things are? Look at Vinicius Mateus' chest. Look at his chest. His chest is still a little underdeveloped. And then when you think about Vinicius Mateus from the back, there's more detail, there's more muscle separation. Other than those two things, Kaique's right there.
100%.
Yeah. And he's brought up his chest and his shoulders, by the way, from that 2024 Olympia. But everyone has. I mean, everyone's gotten better over the past couple of years. So, you know, as good as he could still wind up in 10th, same exact place. And it wouldn't be bad at all because of the competition. Everyone's elevated their game, right? So I agree with you boys 100%. I mean, the guy is peeled. The abs are sizzling, crispy, definitely bacon status, you know, in the pot, stewing, sizzling. You can smell it all the way upstairs. It's time for breakfast. And then if you look at the shoulders are capped. I mean, he's really brought his shoulders up something fierce. Like it all, man. I mean, the guy's got a look about him, and I've been following this guy now for a few years, and he's always like right there. He is always right there and so dangerous over the years. He's always placed in like the top 3, 4 at damn near any show that he shows up to. I mean, there's a reason. I'm talking stack cards. I mean, stack shows.
Let me ask you boys. Kaique shows up to the Puerto Rico Pro. Is he beating Dan?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I honestly think so. Kaique shows up to the Wasatch Warrior. Is he beating... Shit, I don't even know who won the Wasatch. Is he beating Carlos?
Carlos?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah, Carlos
I don't think so.
Is dangerous. Yeah, Carlos
China
is...
Pro. China Pro, is he getting in the top 3? Is he beating Jin-bo? Is he getting second? Is he beating Felix? I think he's smoking Felix.
I think he's beating Felix. I don't know if he's beating Jin-bo though.
I think
from the back,
he beats
Imagine his back versus
maybe not Jinbo. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just interesting seeing how competitive these Brazilian guys, like third place in Brazil is almost a first place finish at all these other shows besides Carlos.
Facts.
Agreed.
It's just crazy. And to your point, Gaffa, like you said, you've been following him a long time. He has gotten a lot better. He has brought up the chest. He has gotten more dialed in with his conditioning, his shoulders. It's crazy. I mean, this guy, be on the lookout for Kaique, man.
My question to
Absolutely
you,
incredible.
My question to you, he brings this physique based on our top 10 from 2025. He brings this look. Do you see him getting back in that top 10 in 2026 if he qualifies?
Who do you take out?
Yeah.
That would be the question. Who do you take out?
Jeremy, easy.
I mean, but look, I mean, who do you put in? Who do you put? Yeah,
Kaique.
Of course, Jeremy.
No,
right?
I don't know.
But who do you? There's so many guys you'd have to put in, right? You'd have to put. Is Isai in there?
Yeah, I mean, this is Aaron Banks proportions with a smaller waist, not as bubbly as the chest yet. The back needs to get there, but the width and the stance, like, man, he looks good. That's my favorite physique of the weekend, right there, by far.
I'm just saying
core.
We take Jeremy out because he's not going to be doing the 2026 so it's an easy one.
Yeah, we know that's what you meant.
I'm just making sure.
Beautiful show, guys. That was a recap of 4 pro shows in about an hour and 15 minutes. The China Pro, the Wasatch Warrior, the Puerto Rico Pro, and the Brazilian Pro show. I'm not going to try and name it. Beautiful job, guys.
Great job. What you got for us, Phil?
Boys, it was a big weekend, but it's only getting better and better and better from here, man. We've got a couple of shows this weekend. I think we've got a show over there in Los Angeles that we're looking forward to covering in the next couple of days. But
we got the Emerald show, the Emerald Pro.
Is that a pro show? Is that a master show?
Masters Pro, Natural Pro.
Okay, perfect. There you go. So we'll be covering that one too. But guys, if you want to be one of the first to be filled in with everything that's happening in the men's physique division, first and foremost, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. The Horde continues to grow. The Horde is, if you don't know, if you're new here, the Horde is the follower group of the Men's Physique Show. And we want you to join it. It's growing each and every single day, each and every single week. Now we're well over 20,000 subscribers, and it's just, like I said, continuing to grow. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, tap the bell icon to be one of the first to see every OTS episode that we drop, as well as the interviews. We have a big interview dropping this week, and you do not want to miss it. So make sure to hit the bell icon. While you're there, like and drop a comment on this video, as well as every video that you watch moving forward. It really helps with the algorithm. And last but not least, make sure to take a screenshot of this episode, QR code on the top right corner, upload it to your Instagram story, tag the Men's Physique Show official, Hart McGrath, Aline Bolton, and Philip Naselli, and we'll reshare that one. And last but not least, a special thank you to the guys who are helping us power the show: Manifest Board Shorts, Alpha Physique Fitness, ProSeek, Huge Supplements, Kippy, and Dr. Campbell over there at the Center of Wellness and Pain Care. All their discount codes and links are in the bio below. And other than that, boys, enjoy the rest of the morning, the night, the evening, whatever time you're watching this one, and we'll see you in the next.
Peace.